It's time to one punch our way to victory in Standard Hearthstone one last time before Badlands rotates out of Standard with Theldurin the Lost. This card attacks all enemies while it is immune as long as you don't have any duplicates in your starting deck. It is worth mentioning with a card like this, we are going to be trying to buff it up using things like Char and the other Handbuff package. We also have Fizzle to get an additional copy of a really buffed up version of him, and as a backup plan, we also have King Plush as a way to finish off with one huge charge minion. It is worth mentioning, I did try to use Champions of Azeroth. It just did not feel good enough, but you could easily try to find room for it in this list. Now, for the one guide of the list, you are going to be looking for any of the one-cost cards. Then, outside of that, you're going to be looking for Theldurin the Lost, and then any type of draw power cards, especially X art. This will allow you to easily cycle through your deck really quickly, which is always good for something like this. Now, with that all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Shaman. I'm assuming this is going to be Terran. I know there's a few other variants of Shaman kind of floating around right now. There are some lists that I actually do want to try. I just haven't gotten around to them yet. I'm actually kind of curious of how stuff like Nebula will actually play after rotation happens. Maybe that's something for me to try early on whenever the new set comes out. I do know that they revealed the new core set, and Shaman has one of the more interesting new inclusions / old inclusions. They kind of just reverted the rotation from the last year when it comes to the Shaman core set, where instead of Kalamos, we now have Kragwa back, which as a combo enabler, that's a really cool swap out. But I'm assuming Kalamos will probably get a new variant of him in the Ungoro set, which is the second set of the year. Actually, let me know what you think of the new core set down below and what you're most excited to try out. Kragwa's up there. Zai also is one of those cards for Demon Hunter that I'm like, maybe, just maybe, we can do some weird, wacky Zortoth, the Starbreaker combos with that card and like a bounce back to the hand. I think there could be something fun there, but it really just depends on like, I don't know, what other Demon Hunter cards we see. Hopefully the power level goes down a little bit, but you never know. I think we have a little bit of a problem with the fact that all the I almost want to bet you once rotation happens, they're going to mass nerf a lot of the Starcraft cards. Like, they're popular, but at the same time, they're much higher power level than the main set ever was, you know. Okay, what do we want to grab here? I'm going to grab bait and switch because maybe we can bait and switch them out. Ooh. I'm going with hidden meaning, though rat trap probably is the better one to have grabbed. Go for bird watching. Maybe we can get two of our little dwarvy friends. And this will probably make them think we have explosive traps, so maybe they won't attack. Yeah, that's the one fear that I was having there. Okay, well, they now know it is that we don't have explosives, so that's fine. Okay. We want to slam down the scout. Oh, 2 Renos isn't bad. Yeah, 2 Renos. Come on, something cool. Oh, okay. So we're burning a card. However, like, we can actually do some fun shenanigans with this. They probably will attack into the 1/2 first. It's also worth mentioning they probably do have Jim in hand, which maybe giving them a discount on Jim will be a little bit of a mistake. Hopefully it won't be, but you never know. Okay, there's bait and switch. Okay, there's hidden meaning. If only reminds me I need to do something with the magnetizing mechs before they rotate. King Plush is probably what we want to grab. A Fizzle would have also made sense, but like, I think this is just the safer bet. Going with alien encounters here too. Just flood the board a little bit. I don't really... Okay, the thing is, I don't really want to use the other discount yet. But we could, I guess. I'm going to grab Yelling Yodeler, and then, yeah, we might as well discount everything. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can draw into a fizzle next turn, so we have that on board. But if we can't, we can't. Or actually, you know what? If we draw into our dwarf, and then we might do something like Gilly into Yodeler. I'm gonna miss Yodeler, actually, to be honest. Excuse me? It can't be Mill because, like, I never ran... Did I run the weapon? Hang on. To my archive of decks that I've ran or made recently. I don't remember if I did. I could have actually ran one of Horn. No, I didn't. Interesting. It reminds me I do want to do something with Shaman and Horn before Horn rotates. We just need to get to it. That's the honest truth. There's Agrimar. Oh! I kind of just want to go for the Yelling Odor. We're not going to be playing, like, any of the cards down, like, this turn anyways. I mean, like, any of the ones that we're buffing up by a bunch that we actually care about. Sure, we might have been... no, it wouldn't matter. Who doesn't like a 1822 King Plush, am I right? Going to feel bad when they just hex them away, but for now, you know, it's fine. Okay, let's see what we can grab. Oh, Fizzle. That's oddly convenient. I'm not going to use it this turn because we're going to use one of the Renos here. I will say this also, that when I was playing this deck, I had a few games that were really good, but I think there might be a bug going on with King Plush right now, where if he is buffed up to a certain point, or maybe if there's a certain location on the board, he just crashes your game and then you have to reconnect, which is annoying. Okay, there's Lightning Storm. I think we could get a... Let's slam this down, fizzle, and then, you know, we'll just one punch man our way out of this board state. And because we're making our opponent learn through this, might as well learn something about, I don't know, another monkey for a little bit of monkey business to protect our minions, and hopefully they don't have a way to remove a 1-3 from the board, or 1-4. Of course they... well, I guess we knew they... Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're about to show them who is in charge and plush them out of this game for a plushing defeat. And gee... Okay, warrior, so it's probably Terran warrior. There are a few warrior lists I want to get to. With the fact that they announced that next week, well, actually, I say next week. By the time this gets uploaded, it'll probably be 1 or 2 days away from the pre-order season starting. I don't know how many of the decks that I had planned I'm going to be able to get to before the next set comes out and / the rotation. And we also will have to see, like, what the buffs to individual cards are, because they're going to definitely do some reversions and, like, buffs. Ooh. Trapdoor is really funny. Also one of those cards that I never really ever did anything with. I tried to do something with it briefly once, but it didn't work. Actually, was it in the final version of the Tax Paladin list that I put out during Peril? I don't remember. I barely remember decks that I put out like a month ago. Like, I remember the general idea of them. I just don't... yeah. Okay. Let's coin into Exarch, which might look a little bit odd, but it's still fine. I guess I don't really want to use both, so we're just going to do it like this, and then, like, do we want to draw a card? Yeah. I was maybe a little bit worried about hand space. Yeah, Perishing Sanctuary is something that I don't care about getting only one copy of. Actually, we probably should have grabbed Fizzle because you can't play multiple. Okay. Wow. Why get one Punch Man when we can get two Punch Man, right? Oh, and Gilly? It's actually kind of funny that the dwarves just happen to work so well with each other. So, good news is that I guess is Terran. It also depends on like what exactly. Okay, so Terran has a few cards that people swap out depending on like where they got the deck, basically, or if they depending on how they feel, right? I know someone Bob, someone Boom Boss, and someone Mind Control Tech. Those are like the three that kind of get interswap between, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Ceaseless is also up there for like like swap. Oh, and Inventor Boom is another one that some run and some don't. Okay. Sadly, as much as I would love to buff up our One Punch Man a little bit more, I think I don't think we live if we don't. Actually, I guess we could live. We're going to just do this. Minimizes the damage that we're going to take. I think it's just safer this way. It feels a little bit bad, but it's still fine. We have another one in hand. We have Plush in hand too, which isn't bad. Okay, Ham. What? Actually, there's not much in the deck that I care if Ham hits. That's not bad. Oh, Reno's fun. Oh, you know what? There is one card that I would have preferred to not hit there. And we actually should have done that in the opposite order. That was just dumb. Oh, well. Oh, actually, no, 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 never mind. I'm playing around Mind Control Deck. We're being smart. There is a reason my brain went with that play, and then I just completely forgot about it instantly. I'm going to be so glad when that card's gone again. Okay, how do we want to do this? We have a few ways we could do this. Kind of want to grab Cup of Muscle, but Tide Pool isn't a bad idea either. If we use Yelling Yodeler now, it technically goes against Mind Control attack. However, it does give us a third Death Rattle of Gilly, technically. And it also does get rid of a minion in the hand just for the char. Of which it didn't matter there, but it could have mattered, right? Into Brawl, right? Yup, yup, yup. Okay, it would be funny. We still have ETC in the deck. It would have been funny if Gilly survived, but that's fine. Oh, technically Gilly did survive. That's my bad. I meant like a different Gilly, I guess. Actually, technically, that is probably the best outcome we could have had there. Couple muscles isn't a bad idea. We can pop that and then slam that on that minion just to be safe. Worse, it hit. We're gonna have some big crocodiles or crocodilus here in a second. Yes, play down Zilliax. Don't mind if I do. Especially on turn 10. Okay, so we have a few options. We could play down Sasquatch. We could play down Crush. But I think I just want to slam down Reno and go face. Get a bunch of damage in. Get rid of Zilliax so we don't have to worry about it on a hydration station. or shuffling it back into their deck with good old Plush. Are there going to be any minions? Because we're going to flush them out of this game. Actually, we don't even need to. We can one punch and finish them off. Lost no longer. Okay, DK. So it's probably Zerg DK. This is actually kind of the matchup that I don't like the most, just because of the fact that, like, you heavily rely on getting Reno out or just overwhelming them with a bunch of, like, low-cost minions that are just really, really big. Or a well-timed Zilliax can win you the game, too. Okay, so it is exactly what I thought. I want to do something with DK, I just don't know what it is. That's actually been the problem with a lot of the classes, is, like, there are decks that we could try out before rotation. I briefly tried, like, an Infinite Plague DK list using, like, Amalgam and Death Growl as a way to, like, give Amalgam's Death Rattle to either the 2-cost Death Rattle minion or Helia, and it just felt bad. It felt really, really bad. Okay, so do we hang on? What options do we have for next turn? Actually, oh, that's not a bad top deck. It is also worth mentioning that, like, oh, I kind of want to grab tracking because maybe we can cheat our way into getting an additional copy or getting alien encounters here for a little bit cheaper. And technically, we just did. It didn't really matter too much because it was the same. Oh well. We probably should have went with alien encounters this turn and then, like, been fine with the playing it for 3 instead. Oh, not really the one con that I want to get, but, like, if we can buff up Zilliax enough, then that could be fun too. Scout's interesting. I mean, Scout into Tide Pool into Alien Encounters, getting 2 copies of it and protect our face for a little bit, and then, like, next turn. Hopefully it also protects the Scout, and then we can just use our hero power to trigger the Scout, and then get, like, an additional copy of. Actually, at this point, I don't know what we want an additional copy of, to be fair. Okay. Oof. If we had 1 more mana, we could Kerrigan this turn. But since we don't, come on, something. Oh, that doesn't discover, but that's good to have in hand. I kind of want to go for the additional discovers. I know this looks a little bit weird, but who knows? Maybe we get a 2-cost card that actually matters. Oh, 2 of those isn't bad. Because we can slam them both down. Attack into the 1/2, hit into that to get rid of it, and might as well. Man, I really don't like doing this, but, like, we might as well pop the Infestor just to get it off of the board, and then they don't have things like Yelling Yodeler to finish us off. It actually is kind of funny. I think the StarCraft cards after rotation are going to be still really good. Don't get me wrong. Maybe they'll even have to get hit a little bit just to slow down the game. However, if you think about it, at least with Zerg in particular and Zerg DK, half of the deck is reliant on cards that are going to be rotating. So you don't really have to worry too much about that unless you print more, like, Death Rattle support for DK, which is honestly very possible. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I want 2 Renos. Like, maybe not the best play in the world, but 2 Renos is what I want. All right, how do we want to do this from here? We could discover another card, or we could just slam down our little dwarven friend. I think slamming down our Dwarven friend is actually the play to do. Like, it sucks that we won't be able to buff him up a bunch, but it is a board clear. We do already have Zilliax in hand, so maybe we can finish off our opponent with like a humongous Zilliax instead. Because Zilliax is not going to be the easiest thing for them to deal with. I kind of want to grab Explosive Trap, which might look like a little bit of a mistake, given the fact that they're Zerg DK. But you never know, maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, there's Kerrigan. Gets rid of our board, which sucks, but like, gotta make do with what we gotta make do. Okay, champions getting burnt. We really need to cut champions. I think after this game, we'll cut it out of the list. A lot of the time, you just have hand space issues, and it's not like we're going to lose it. Well, actually, they could. Could they do enough damage to make us lose in a single turn? Hopefully, they don't. Hopefully, we can survive and just slam down Zilliax and win next turn. Oh, that. Oh, they don't have a way to give that rush. Oh, but that is pseudo rush. Never mind that. Okay. Of course it hits last too. That feels so bad. Okay, so Zilliax, right? We Zilliax heal to full, basically full. Not completely full, but basically full. Hit the 2 without Reborn, and then go face. I get it, we're giving them more resources, but I don't think they can actually deal with this. So we might actually just want to wave our opponent goodbye here for the rest or the end of the game. You never know though. Maybe they'll have something. And it doesn't look like it. Zilliax coming in for the absolute perfection of a game victory here. And I don't think any soul searching is going to make you win this game. Ooh, okay, maybe that would work. Alright, let's add insult to injury and show them who the... Oh. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I played around 30 games with the deck, ended up with a 50% win rate, which actually is around where I expected this deck to be. It actually helps a lot by having Barrel of Monkeys instead of Champions of Azeroth, which is something that I was using for around 20-ish games, because there are a lot of decks that focus on using a big weapon or using their hero to attack into your face for quite a large amount of damage. Overall, this deck does have a pretty decent matchup against something like Terran Shaman. It is a little bit slow for Zerg DK, however, it just depends on how you draw and if you can get any mana cheat to cheat something out like Reno early on. Overall, if you're looking for a deck to use Highlander Hunter cards before they rotate, this is a great one to try out. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.